Yolon True and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy, and this morning I will continue with our little artifact series and the blade of Tkon. But before I talk about this in detail and go to the artifact gallery, I just want to say, if you're not a subscriber of my channel yet but do like my videos, then please do subscribe to my channel, and when you do, also click this little bell and all notifications so you will be informed when another video is out. And I also always pin a comment under the video after publishing, as soon as I can at least. There's information about subscribing, about supporting the channel, but also how you can get on the Discord server I set up for my viewers here on this channel. There's of course a video library, but also a database and quarks. So if you're interested, have a look. But now let's go to the artifact gallery and have a look at the blade of Tkon. If you don't remember that, the Tkon Empire was part of a very early episode in Star Trek The Next Generation. And this blade of Tkon was the blade that Riker got very close to his face. And when they first met the Ferengi, by the way. The blade of Tkon is an uncommon artifact, and you see that it already looks different than some others because of the blue markings there, but we get to this a little bit later in the video. The blade of Tkon is something that has to do with isolytic damage again, because in this case it increases the isolytic damage while on an interceptor and the opponent has hull breach. You might remember that the organ harvester was made for battleships with burning, and now the blade of Tkon is for interceptors with hull breach. And that of course makes sense, because in case of PvP at least, you will always have a very good PvP crew there if you can, and that PvP crew relies on hull breach anyway. And so this fits into the best PvP crew with Gul Dukat and Damar, and that will work pretty well. And so you will get more isolytic damage, or finally get isolytic damage if you don't have it in general, if you have this combination. It starts with 1% at level 1 and goes up to 8% at level 20. So it's not going to something like 100, 200, like with normal damage and some bonuses you get there, because isolytic damage is a little bit different. And when the cascade comes in, it gets really complicated, as you remember probably. The blade of Tkon, if you want to know more, there's always this explanation text in the info box as well. But you already see something on the bottom here. It says level up, and if you look at some other artifacts you might have, it says collect shards. But what is the difference here? And you've seen that in the power list already. From level 16 it shows a different level, because until level 15 it was all normal, and then suddenly everything gets blue with remnant levels. Because from level 16 it doesn't work with just collecting shards, and when you have enough you level them up. Like with the Mud's Andorian helmet, for example, I need another 25 shards and I can just upgrade it. With all the ones up there with the blue markings, they work now a bit more like the transporter patterns, and for this we have to go to the refineries, because as soon as you have any artifact above level 15 and have more shards for it, then the artifacts refinery will appear here. If you don't have any shards to exchange, it will disappear again. So it's really only there if you have something to exchange. And all your artifacts that are beyond level 15 and you have shards for will appear here. You see that I have extra shards now for the ammonite, the orb, the blaster, the blade, and the organ harvester. And the blade of Tkon, what we're talking about today, for this I have 594 shards, and so I can exchange 1 chest, 5 chests, or 20. And when I do this, I get 20 of those artifact remnants, and it's not limited. So as many shards as you have, as often you can exchange here until it's over. And then you go back to your artifact gallery, and there you can use those on any artifact you have beyond level 15. I will not use it on the Blade of Tkon today because I'm planning to upgrade some other things first. And like the last video I did with that was the organ harvester, there's still the bug that it doesn't change the number of artifact remnants here on the top, although I'm exchanging every time. But it shows level up that I have more than 70, so that is correct. At least only the number on top is not correct. And I could level it up now, but as I said, I will level up others, because I can now decide, like with the transporter patterns where I can decide which officer I want. Here I can now decide, when after I exchanged everything in the artifact gallery, what I want to upgrade. And that's something that's quite nice. The problem was that with the Vidian Onata Organ Harvester, the Blade of Tkon, and Captain's Proton's Blaster, I had to wait to get to level 50 before I could further upgrade them. So you can't go beyond level 15 with those three unless you are at least level 50. Of course, you want to know how to get them. First of all, you get shards from doing formation armadas. The UC ones, the rare ones, they give different shards for different artifacts, and depending on the level it will be different as well. But you also have the convert section here, and in the artifact restoration, the premium artifact restoration and the isolytic artifact restoration, you get different shards. And the Blade of Tkon is in the isolytic artifact restoration. We can have a look. I don't have enough at the moment to exchange, but the Blade of Tkon is here in this one. And you see with a few more rares and some epics, and that is your main source for the Blade of Tkon and for shards for it. Isolytic artifacts often appear in events, and that's my main source for those tokens, although you can get it in via formation armadas as well and exchanges, but not exchanges, but the formation armadas sometimes. But I usually get them in events. We have one at the moment where you can get them again, and that's where I usually get them. But all those artifacts are a nice addition to your gameplay, and there are also different ways of getting them. You also have the Voyager Refinery, and in the Voyager Refinery, here, no, it wasn't here in the species 847, it was in the anomaly exchanges. I can't look into at the moment because they always need a long time to refresh. There you can get certain artifacts as well if you have taken the favors you need for that in the Bajoran faction. So it's quite complicated here, but that's why I want to stay with the topic at hand today, and that's the Blade of Tkon. I just want to grab my rewards here while we're talking and while we're in the Voyager Refinery. So if you want to add something about the Blade of Tkon, if you've got it, if you're using it, and especially if you have the proper crew on one of your ships to use it, then please write it in the comments. It's always good when experienced players, for example, also give their opinion on the topic of the video, so that newer players can learn from different opinions. And if you want to ask questions or have video requests, please write it in the comments as well. You know I regularly read them. And if you just want to say hi and where you're from, I'm always happy to read that as well, because I'm curious where my active viewers are coming from. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.